Hey humans, welcome back to otro videito más. Today we're gonna be talking about why I'm selling my 14 to 24 at 2.8. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so good morning everyone. It's currently 5 in the morning here. But yeah, to the point at hand, literally, I'm selling my 14 to 24 f 2.8 from Sigma. There are a few reasons why I'm selling this lens, and some of them will surprise you. Because some of them don't even have to do with the lens itself. It has to do with two other lenses. But let's get to it. So the first reason is because there's no filter thread on there because of this bulbous element. I mean, it's out there. The lens hood is fixed, so I can't remove it. And yes, I can use a matte box, which is what I've been using for the longest time. But in order to take it vlogging or whatever outside, it makes it kind of hard to use it in the sun. Now, I did buy these Haida filters. These filters are not your typical ones, but these basically go in the back of the lens. So if you see right here, you can put these filters in here and lock it in place like this. And then when you need to remove it, unlock it, pull it out, and then you're done. But the thing with it is that while you're putting these filters onto the lens, yeah, your sensor's exposed, first of all, if you're just using this one lens, and your lens is out and about. You may get smudges on the actual filter that you can't really clean once you pull the lens out. It's very cumbersome. I've used it for a year and it's pretty cumbersome. Now, as far as the lens, there's nothing wrong with it. It is an amazing lens. The 14mm, I mean, for real estate, I mean, you can't beat it. 14mm is very nice. It's a great lens. I really do enjoy this lens. For real estate, it's great. But for running and gunning and going outside and just taking one lens and just having fun with it, it's not. It's for me, it's not that lens. Now, the reason why I'm selling this lens, because of two other lenses, the 16 to 35 and the 35 to 150. Because it's just a no-brainer. Have from 16 to 150 in two lenses, and that 35 to 150 has an f2 at the 35 point. You get basically one good prime out of just two zoom lenses, which is great. Now, I already bought 35 to 150. It'll be here in a couple days, but I bought it from Rokinon. I'm trying to minimize expenses here. So I bought it from Rokinon. I really wanted it to get it from Samyang. They're both the same company. It's the same. It's just rebranding, but I'm stingy for names. And I thought about getting the Tamron 35 to 150, but at $1,899, I mean, it's pretty up there. I'm already getting the 16 to 35. I'm getting it used for $1,600. So I wasn't trying to go super over. So what I'm doing, I'm trading this in. I think I'm getting like $800 for it. And then I'm buying the 16 to 35 f2.8 for $1,650. So I'm technically only paying $850 for the 16 to 35 f2.8. Now, my dilemma in this whole, before we get to the dilemma, let me show you this little chart I did. So if you see here, I have the 35 f1.4, I have the 50 f1.2, I have the 85 f1.4, and I have the 90 f2.8 macro. So those are the primes I own. I love those lenses. I love my prime lenses. They help you achieve something that you can't achieve with zooms. It's kind of super hard. Here's my list up here where I'm trying to like put everything together as far to have just one kit and not keep buying any more lenses. My plan now is to have a 16 to 35. Then I already got the 35 to 150. It's not here yet, but it'll get here. And then I do already own the 70 to 200, and I own the version 2. So I was thinking of a way to make this lens not so redundant, because with 35 to 150, I mean, this lens is only giving me an extra 50 millimeters. And at the telephoto lens, that's not really that much, right? So my thought was, how about I just get a 2x teleconverter and attach it to the 70 to 200. Technically, I would have 140 to 400 millimeter zoom range, which makes it a whole nother lens. I mean, I could buy the 100 to 400, but I've looked and this one has better autofocusing speeds than the 100 to 400, and I've heard is also sharper than the 100 to 400. So no, I won't be buying 100 to 400. I'm just converting the 70-200 to 140 to 400, and that will give me all the range from 16 to 400 in what, 3 lenses? I mean, it does not get any better than that. So I have the Holy Trinity, but a trinity that extends way past 200. Now, obviously, taking this lens out will not be like a daily thing, but if I wanted to go, let's just say I'm going on a day trip somewhere and I wanted to get really nice pictures and I wanted to blog also, I would definitely take these 2 lenses right here, and then I would have basically the whole range in 2 lenses. Also, the 16 to 35 f2.8 and the 35 to 150, guess what, they both have the same filter thread size, 82 millimeters. So I would only need 1 filter, and the filter that I bought for those 2 is the K&F Concept 82 millimeters. It's 2 to 6 stops, but it also has a circular polarizer filter in it. It's like a 2-in-1 kind of deal. That'll be just the perfect filter because it's just 1 filter, fits both lenses. I think it's the best run and gun setup you can have. The 16 to 35 f2.8 is pretty heavy. I mean, coming in at 1.5 pounds, it's pretty up there. Now, when we compare it with the 16 to 35 Power Zoom f4, new one that just came out, that one's only 0.78 pounds, which is like half of the 16 to 35 f2.8, and it's smaller, more compact. I've been racking my brain around which one to get. I know with the f4 we're losing a few stops at lights. I know it and it kills me, but it's just so small and compact. But what I'm going to do today is sell this, buy the 16 to 35 f2.8, and I also bought the 16 to 35 f4, and I will be testing those 2 out together and comparing them because I looked far and wide and I think I only found like 2 videos comparing the 2. But I was really waiting because I was hoping that Sony would launch a 16 to 35 f2.8 version 2 that was more lightweight. A lightweight version of that lens would be kind of better. So I was waiting for that, but I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. So I think I'm pulling the trigger on it. Finally gonna have 2 lenses to take up the whole basic zoom range, 16 to 150. And then in case you were wondering, what will you do with the 14? Like, you won't have a 14 millimeter anymore. Well, I'll just buy probably a Rokinon 14 f2.8, pretty lightweight lens, and just slap it on there and do some real estate. I think the 16 will suffice for real estate. This was me ranting at 5 in the morning before I saw this because I wanted to hold it while I talked about it. I feel like I would have been really sad doing this video without this in my hand. Obviously, you see it has a skin on it, so I was planning to keep this lens for forever. After using it for a year, I have noticed its limitations and it doesn't make me want to use it as much. I think with the 16 to 35, it'll be a lot better. Now, don't forget to subscribe for a chance to win a camera cage kit of your choosing. And if you want to see the comparison between the 16 to 35 f2.8 and the 16 to 35 f4, the Power Zoom new version, yeah, also subscribe and hit that bell icon so you can get notified when I do post that video, because that video is coming for sure. Now, if you see me back here with a different hoodie, it's probably because I forgot to say something about this. I knew it was gonna happen. I called it. I know myself. I got the f4, I got the f2.8, and the review of both these together is coming. So definitely subscribe so you can see that, and hit that bell icon so you can get notified when I actually post it. But in summary, the reason why I sold my 14 to 24 is because there were no filter threads on the front of the lens. The bulbous element was just too much to handle, and the filters that would go in the back were really cumbersome to use. Another reason is because I wanted to have the entire zoom range with just 2 lenses instead of having the Holy Trinity and bringing in 3 lenses, 14 to 24, 24 to 70, and then 70 to 200. I just wanted to bring just 2. And when I saw that 35 to 150, I was like, oh my god, it's doable. 16 to 35 35 to 150, and we're done. We're good to go. The last reason is because the 16 to 35, the 35 to 150 have 82 millimeter filter thread, so I can use one filter for both. To me, it sounds like the lightest setup I could have, but also having like good glass at the same time and having the entire zoom range. But yeah, that's a summary. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for that camera cage kit giveaway of your choosing, so you can choose whichever cage kit you want. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified when I post new videos. If you did like this video, like it so I know that you liked it. If you didn't like it, then hit the dislike button twice. Yeah, that's it. Shout out Bluesky. I feel like these are the only times I use these bags. This is when I'm going to sell them. It was nice having you, my friend. It was nice having you. I'm gonna miss you, but not so much.
Oh yeah, that sounds good.